the Honourable Speaker of Parliament, the Honourable Prime Minister, Cabinet Ministers and Assistant Ministers, the Honourable Leader of Opposition, Honourable Members of Parliament, viewers tuning in live on Parliament's Facebook page, ladies and gentlemen, Bisaya and Ravinak. Honourable Speaker, I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land where we gather. Honourable Speaker, the coalition government has been running for 3 years and 2 months now. I had served for 18 months as a Member of Parliament and Assistant Minister, and now serving for 1 year, 8 months as a Cabinet Minister. Honourable Speaker, as I look back, I can testify to God's faithfulness, and I'm reminded time and time again of His word in Proverbs 19:21, that we may have many plans in our hearts, but it's His purpose that always prevails. For that, Honourable Speaker, I acknowledge God's wisdom, guidance, and His love that has never forsaken nor leave me. Honourable Speaker, please allow me to extend greeting to the people of Ra. Greetings. Honourable Speaker, I would like to thank my family and extended family for the endless support and prayerful hearts. To my husband and my beautiful children, thank you for journeying with me and for bearing with me. What an experience it has been for us. Honourable Speaker, I'd also like to thank the Honourable Prime Minister for his continued foresight, his wisdom, and his vision for United Fiji. Honourable Speaker, I rise this morning to respond to the visionary statement delivered by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Fiji, and to reaffirm this government's steadfast commitment to advancing Fiji's fisheries and forestry sectors within the broader national development framework of a whole-of-government approach. Honourable Speaker, His Excellency's emphasis on policy coherence, institutional coordination, and integrated service delivery reflects a governance model that recognizes that no sector operates in isolation. Honourable Speaker, the sustainable management of our oceans, forests, and natural capital requires precisely this integrated architecture where environment, economy, land, climate resilience, trade, and social inclusion are aligned under a unified national agenda. In this regard, Honourable Speaker, the ministries responsible for fisheries and forestry are not standalone actors. We are central pillars in delivering food security, export earnings, climate mitigation, rural livelihoods, and biodiversity conservation for Fiji. Honourable Speaker, the fisheries sector is committed to aligning its efforts with a vision articulated by His Excellency to root in unity, responsible governance, sustainable resource management, and inclusive economic transformation. Honourable Speaker, Fiji's ocean resources are not merely economic assets, they are the foundation of our food security, rural livelihoods, cultural identity, and national development and aspirations. As a large ocean state, we carry both privilege and responsibility. Honourable Speaker, His Excellency underscored the importance of adopting a whole-of-government approach to sustainable development. The Ministry of Fisheries' roles and responsibilities support and complement the work of other line government agencies on achieving sustainable economic growth, ensuring environmental sustainability, eliminating poverty, promoting inclusivity, and ensuring the social and cultural well-being for all Fijians. Honourable Speaker, His Excellency reaffirmed Fiji's commitment to regional leadership and international advocacy for the long-term sustainability of our fisheries resources. The Ministry of Fisheries, Honourable Speaker, remains committed to enhancing the fisheries legislative framework. Over the past 2 years, the Ministry has achieved significant milestones, including the enactment of the Aquaculture Act of 2024, an act that regulates and promotes sustainable aquaculture practices, ensures environmental protection, supports livelihood and food security, and contributes to economic growth. The Fisheries Amendment Act of 2025 looks at modernizing the enforcement and compliance framework for the Fisheries Act by introducing an inshore fixed penalty notice as a first-tier deterrent against non-compliance. Honourable Speaker, our objective this year is clear: to remain steadfast in our commitment to completing the review and enactment of the Inshore Fisheries Management Bill, a bill that modernizes the enforcement and updates regulations to reflect the modern fishing practices and technology, and the review of the Offshore Fisheries Management Act of 2012 and its subsequent regulations of 2014. Honorable Speaker, in light of the escalating incidents of illicit activities within our exclusive economic zone and inshore areas, the Ministry will heighten its monitoring, control and surveillance to counter illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing practices. A significant milestone was achieved in April of 2025 with the launch of the National Fisheries Surveillance and Operations Center at the Offshore Fisheries Station in Walu Bay. Honorable Speaker, with the support of our development partners, our primary focus is to increase our value retention of tuna caught in our waters to be processed locally and to create employment opportunities and a stronger economy. The successful convening of the 9th Pacific Tuna Forum in Nandi in October last year reaffirmed Fiji's commitment to sustainable fisheries and ocean management. Honorable Speaker, in the inshore area, efforts are ongoing to support our licensed fishers' access to ice supplies across our 24 stations, with the 2 new stations scheduled for establishment this year, one in Dawaro in Undu Point, Maduwata, and Koro in Lomaiviti, alongside preparatory work for Matakunea in the Kaundrove. The Ministry continues to support the fishers' cooperatives through the provision of startup capital, including boats and engines, as well as solar-powered freezers, and through technical training on fishing diversification to explore untapped fisheries resources such as deepwater snappers, diamond squid, and deepwater crab. Honorable Speaker, the Aquaculture Development Plan guides our commitment to transforming Fiji's aquaculture sector into a profitable, sustainable, and environmentally friendly activity. Work is currently underway focusing on giant clams, giant tiger prawn, white-legged shrimp, giant freshwater prawn, and tilapia, which offer opportunities to grow at an industrial level given the potential for rapid development. Our aim, Honorable Speaker, is to reduce reliance on imports and scale domestic production to meet the local demand. We are moving beyond raw exports, improving feed formulation, investing in value-added industries, and building traceability systems that guarantee ethical production and consumer trust. Honorable Speaker, efforts focus not only on production but also on improving our hatchery and aquaculture facilities. The Makongai Mariculture Research Center in Lomaiviti is undergoing rehabilitation and functional improvements with support from the Korean government, and completion is targeted for 2028. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Fisheries' core role is to ensure the sustainable management of fish stocks and associated marine ecosystems within our waters. Science-based decisions guide our approach to fisheries resource management, and this is evident in the adoption of the South Pacific Albacore Management Procedure at the Western Central Pacific Fisheries Commission meeting in December of 2025 in Manila, Philippines. A monumental achievement for Fiji, as this protects our domestic longline industry and secures the long-term viability of the fishery. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry is progressing Fiji's commitment to conserve the sustainably manage 30% of our marine areas by 2030. Our approach strikes a balance grounded in both scientific rigor and practical considerations, with a 30 by 30 commitment serving to reinforce and strengthen established fisheries management practices. The gazetting of the Tavarua Island Marine Reserve last year promotes marine biodiversity conservation and marine ecotourism, thereby contributing to our 30 by 30 commitment. The focus this year, Honorable Speaker, is on finalizing and launching key species management plans to guide our licensed fishers, communities, managers, enforcement officers, and policymakers in the conservation and management of specific key species. Our commitment embodies intergenerational stewardship, ensuring that future generations inherit healthy, productive, and resilient oceans. Honorable Speaker, rural and maritime communities are integral to national development, with coastal fisheries supporting thousands of households across Fiji. Women play a critical role in post-harvest processing and market supply chains. Our youth are increasingly entering aquaculture and value-added enterprises. The Ministry is prioritizing community-based resource management, expansion of aquaculture initiatives, support for women-led enterprises, and skills development for our young Fijians. Inclusion is not a slogan, it is a development imperative. Honorable Speaker, climate change remains the defining challenge of our time. Rising sea temperatures, ocean acidification, and extreme weather events directly impact fish stock and coastal ecosystems. The fisheries sector is committed to strengthening adaptation efforts, supporting ecosystem restoration, and working with development partners to access climate finance that protects our communities and marine resources. Honorable Speaker, moving on to the forestry sector, forestry remains fundamental to ecological integrity, rural homes, and climate commitments. Approximately 60% of Fiji's land area remains under forest cover. Our forests serve as carbon sinks, biodiversity reservoirs, watershed protectors, and economic assets. The sector contributes substantially to export revenue of over 80 million Fiji dollars annually through timber, chips, value-added wood products, and non-timber forest products, while supporting land-owning units across the country. His Excellency, Honorable Speaker, spoke of sustainable development grounded in good governance and inclusivity. The forest strategy directly operationalizes these principles through the sustainable management of environmental stewardship. This is where the ministry priorities are responsible forest harvesting system, reforestation and forest landscape restoration, biodiversity conservation, and watershed protection. Honorable Speaker, landscape restoration initiatives align with national mitigation and adaptation goals, contributing to emission reduction commitments while enhancing ecosystem resilience. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry continues to promote long rotation plantation forestry and enforce compliance standards to prevent overharvesting and land degradation. Honorable Speaker, a core tenet of forestry governance is that landowners remain central beneficiaries of sectorial progress. Customary land ownership structures are respected and strengthened through transparent royalty mechanisms, lease stampage payments, improved contract governance, and technical extension services. This ensures that forestry development translates into tangible improvements in livelihoods while safeguarding traditional land rights. His Excellency emphasis on inclusive growth finds practical expression in this landowner first policy framework. Honorable Speaker, a major milestone in strengthening the governance framework of the forestry sector was the passing of the Forestry Act of 2025, enacted by Parliament on 1st December of 2025. This landmark legislation, Honorable Speaker, modernizes the legal architecture governing forest management in Fiji and replaces outdated regulatory provisions with a framework that reflects contemporary environmental, commercial, and compliance standards. Honorable Speaker, the Forestry Act of 2025 delivers several key advancements. It strengthens compliance and enforcement mechanisms, including clearer monitoring powers and improved penalties to deter illegal harvesting and non-compliance. It streamlines and allows for transparent licensing procedures, clarifying operational requirements for harvesting, transport, processing, and export. It enhances sustainability safeguards, embedding responsible forest management, replanting obligations, and biodiversity protection into statutory requirements. And it improves governance and accountability structures, reinforcing oversight and public confidence in concession allocation processes. Honorable Speaker, these reforms provide regulatory certainty for investors while safeguarding landowner rights and environmental integrity. The objective is not deregulation, but smarter and more effective regulation, ensuring that economic growth and environmental stewardship move in parallel. In addition, Honorable Speaker, the Mahogany Bill has been tabled for its first reading in Parliament. This bill seeks to strengthen the governance, transparency, and long-term commercial viability of Fiji's mahogany industry, one of the country's most significant forest assets. Honorable Speaker, the anticipated benefits of the Mahogany Bill include greater clarity in institutional roles and responsibilities, strengthened landowner participation and benefit sharing mechanisms, improved corporate governance standards, enhanced investor confidence through clear operational and reporting frameworks, and better alignment of mahogany resource management with sustainable development priorities. Honorable Speaker, both the Forestry Act of 2025 and the proposed Mahogany Bill signal the government's commitment to building a modern, transparent, and investor-ready forestry sector, one that balances profitability with sustainability and ensures that landowners remain central beneficiaries of sectorial growth. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry continues to advance value addition, market expansion, and non-timber forest product development. Some of these advancements include the downstream processing and secondary manufacturing, engineered wood product development, and market diversification. Value addition, Honorable Speaker, strengthens domestic supply chains, generates higher skilled employment, increases foreign exchange earnings, and retains a greater share of resource value within Fiji. This direction, Honorable Speaker, is fully aligned with the National Industrialization Agenda referenced in His Excellency's address, which calls for economic transformation through innovation, processing, and enterprise development. Honorable Speaker, in parallel with timber value addition, the Ministry is advancing the development of non-timber forest products as an important diversification strategy. These include forest-based products such as medicinal plants, essential oils, resins, honey, handicraft materials, bamboo, and other natural resources. Honorable Speaker, the non-timber forest product represent a significant opportunity to broaden income stream for rural and maritime communities, increase participation of women and youth in forest-based enterprises, promote sustainable forest use without large-scale harvesting, and strengthen community resilience and livelihood diversification. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry has progressed work on the National Timber Forest Product Strategic Framework to formalize value chains, improve quality standards, enhance market access, and provide technical training to producers. By integrating the non-timber forest products into national forestry planning, we are moving toward a more holistic forest economy, one that recognizes forest as multidimensional ecosystem capable of generating inclusive and sustainable economic returns. This integrated approach, Honorable Speaker, ensures that forestry development supports economic growth, environmental conservation, and community empowerment simultaneously. Honorable Speaker, in direct response to the President's call for equitable opportunity, the forest sector is expanding participation among women and youth through a number of key initiatives, including nursery development programs, replanting initiatives, community-based cottage industries, and technical training for women and youth. Our data shows that technical training for women and youth has increased significantly over the years, Honorable Speaker, particularly in nursery establishment and management, as well as in chainsaw and portable sawmill operators. Honorable Speaker, the number of seedling supplies from community nurseries led by women has also grown steadily. Over the past 3 years, women-led nurseries have accounted for an average of 46% of total seedling suppliers. Similarly, within our replanting initiatives, an average of 37% of beneficiaries receiving community planting incentives over the past 3 years have been women. These initiatives, Honorable Speaker, not only expand opportunities for women and youth, but also diversify income streams in rural communities and strengthen intergenerational sustainability in the forestry sector. Honorable Speaker, today marks the commencement of the 2026 National Women in Agriculture Symposium, in which the forestry and fishery sectors are proud participants. The symposium brings together women entrepreneurs from across agriculture, forestry, and fisheries to recognize their achievements, share ideas, build networks, and connect with potential investors. This initiative reflects our continued commitment to empowering women and recognizing their vital contributions to the growth and sustainability of Fiji's primary industries. Honorable Speaker, before I conclude, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge two important occasions that we recently observed. Firstly, on the 8th of March, the world commemorated International Women's Day, a day dedicated to recognizing the invaluable contributions of women in our families, communities, and across all sectors in our nation. I extend my sincere appreciation and warmest wishes to all the women of Fiji for their resilience, leadership, and the many roles they play in shaping the future of our country. From our mothers and daughters to our professionals, farmers, entrepreneurs, and community leaders, your dedication continues to inspire progress and strengthen our society. Secondly, as we marked Father's Day yesterday, Honorable Speaker, under the Methodist Church calendar, I'd also like to extend heartfelt wishes to all fathers and father figures throughout Fiji. Fathers play a critical role in guiding, supporting, and nurturing our families and communities. Your commitment, sacrifices, and leadership within the home and society contribute greatly to the well-being and development of our nation. Honorable Speaker, the recognition of these two occasions remind us the importance of strong families, mutual respect, and shared responsibility in building a more inclusive and prosperous Fiji. To all women and fathers of our beloved nation, I convey my sincere gratitude and best wishes. Honorable Speaker, His Excellency's address was a call for unity, reform, and responsible stewardship. The Minister of Fisheries and the Minister of Forestry stands ready to contribute decisively to that national agenda through strong governance, inclusive growth, sustainable management, and collaborative development. We remain committed to protecting our marine and forest resources while transforming them into drivers of resilient and equitable economic growth for all Fijians. Thank you very much, and may God bless us all.